Good Friday morning, and thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet, the voice you know with the news you trust studio, sponsored by BASF, where you can count on the trusted performance of Allevo seed treatment to protect your soybean crop. Also brought to you in part by Performance Livestock Analytics, helping Ohio cattle producers run more efficient cattle operations with real-time data on feed, health, and performance, all in one easy-to-use app. I'm Dusty Sonnenberg. Under clear skies, I have 56 degrees out on the barn thermometer, and it looks like it's going to be another nice fall day. Actually, looking ahead the next 7 to 10 days, it looks like we should have dry weather and harvest will roll on. This quick calendar reminder, tune in next Tuesday during midday as Dale will have our monthly update with the folks in Washington Courthouse at Farm Credit Mid-America. Speaking of Dale, let's get an update from him now as he hosted this week's first in a series of Feeding Farmers events.
Joining me is Dan Wagner. We're on week number 1 of Feeding Farmers. And Dan, we're in Hancock County, right?
That's correct.
Give us a quick update. What was spring like in this area? Because driving in, the crops look like they're maturing pretty well and ready to go.
The guys that got to plant early was rewarded, I think, this fall. But we had a pretty wet, cold May.
You've got some April beans in. You've run some of them. How did Mother Nature do with the watering can?
Yeah, we are very pleased with the crop yield that we have. I got to be human and say I am disappointed because we missed out on all the August rains. Probably missed out on 10 bushel.
Well, when you start looking at that, I mean, it's one of those things you can't control, but you did all the things right, and a lot of it still comes down to Mother Nature.
You can take pride in I did the best of my ability, and that's all we can do.
What kind of moisture were the beans?
9%. I think most farmers feel the same way. You hate running them first beans because they're always super dry, but you have the green pods, and you don't like the looks of that.
How would you describe your corn then?
I think we're going to have an okay yield. It's been a long time since we've had yields this low, probably.
Of course, with high inputs, that's even more pressure on the agricultural system. But the bottom line is you're getting close to the right moisture to start trying it, right?
That's right. I think our next rain delay will move into shelling corn.
How much rain have you gotten the last week or so? Much?
I had a ½ inch. It's been one of those years we can see rain a lot in August over to the Lima area and just couldn't drag it this way.
Well, if Mother Nature gave the right kind of conditions, how long would it take you to wrap everything up for this year?
Probably a month and a half. We could have everything pretty well done.
So you're still going to push way past Halloween and into Thanksgiving.
That's right.
I've been visiting with Dan Wagner, week number 1 winner of Feeding Farmers in the Field from Hancock County.
Thanks, Dale. Well, let's get a look now at your Friday morning weather forecast brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com.
Dry weather unfolding over the Buckeye State. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin. Let's take a look at that forecast update. Yesterday was kind of a transition day as we were kicking out the remaining lingering moisture down over the southern and the eastern parts of the state. Today, no such concerns. We're looking at sunshine right off the bat. Maybe a few areas of patchy fog up north, but I don't think that's a big deal. And sunshine's going to dominate all the way through the next 2 to 2.5 weeks here. I am not concerned about any significant precipitation at all as we work through next week and the week following. There is one caveat or hiccup here. You get into next Tuesday night, Wednesday. Models are showing a little bit of the remains of a tropical system coming off the east coast and getting across the Appalachians into eastern parts of Kentucky and southern parts of Ohio. I don't believe this is going to be something that really is going to be able to happen, but we'll throw it out there. Maybe we get some cloud cover middle of next week, maybe a few moisture areas down south, but I do not think this actually has a high likelihood of panning out. It is on my watch list, though, over the next few days. Outside of that, again, sunny, dry, very warm. Evaporation rates at a near maximum here for the weekend and into early next week. This is going to be game on when it comes to harvest here. No reason why we should not be in the fields across a large part of the state. Have a great weekend. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin.
And thanks, Ryan. Well, yesterday I had a chance to catch up with Dr. Carl Zulauf. He is an emeriti professor at The Ohio State University. He was gathered with a group of farmers talking about tariffs, trade, and today's economy.
A tariff is a tax. That is exactly what it is. It raises the price of the good. And American companies will go right to that tariff. We know that. If you put a 50% tariff on, the price of the American good will go 50%. To do otherwise is to be economically irrational. So I am assuming if we have 15% tariff, the price of the good is going to go up 15%. In fact, it may have already gone up 15%. The question now is 15% enough to cause American businesses to produce the product? And that's the question that I think we are really in right now. Is 15% tariff, as a general tariff, enough to cause American businesses to say, yeah, we will produce it, and we can do it cheaper than the imports? I've heard definite conversations by CEOs that say we can import it cheaper at 15% than Americans can make it. So there appears to be a variety of answers to this question that depends on the type of product, etc. But it is not a given, that's the point that I want to leave you with, that a 15% tariff will necessarily cause American businesses to produce the product. It is possible that country X could still produce it even with the 15% tariff cheaper than American businesses can.
Again, those are the comments of Dr. Carl Zulauf. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more after this.
Biodiesel isn't just a fuel, it's a game changer for your engine, your wallet, and your farm. Cleaner burning and efficient, biodiesel enhances engine life, power, and fuel economy. Plus, it delivers real value, adding $1.33 to every bushel of soybeans grown. That's 13% more value per bushel, directly tied to the biofuels market. Ready to turn soybeans into power and drive with purpose? Learn how at soyohio.org.
It's the livelihood of Ohio farmers.
Planting, fertilizing, tending, and working.
Long days, short nights, cab meals, and tractor rides with the kids.
It all leads up to harvest.
Farmers are parents, siblings, children, and friends, and they're working hard to feed us all.
Give farmers plenty of room to work on the roads this harvest season.
From all of us here at the Ohio AgNet, have a safe harvest.
Joining me today is Scott Porter. Scott with Dynamic Green Products. We are at Farm Science Review. And Scott, an exciting time as your company is, I guess you could almost say, exploding. But take us back to the early days, as you've done a lot of work with obviously soy-based products. How'd you get started and affiliated with the Ohio Soybean Council?
Hi, Dusty. Thank you. So going back about 4 years ago, I met Barry McGraw, Ohio Wesleyan, when he was in the Small Business Center, kind of a one-man show. And I was kind of going left. He was going right, doing his research, a lot of soy-dedicated products. And we were not soy-based. So Barry worked with me to say, hey, why can't you use soy? And I said, well, we've got 3 years of going a different direction, but if you're willing to help me, and you're willing to support a couple of R&D efforts, sure, I'll consider it. And that's where it started. So basically serendipity, a unique way of meeting each other. And, we've built a fantastic relationship with Airbowl, OSC, and now we've gone from 1 product to 9 products. And over the next 6 or 7 months, we're getting ready to launch another 4 products that are all soy-based. So pretty amazing what's happened over the last 4 years.
Absolutely it is. Well, let's start off talking about the products. Maybe what was your first one that you took to market, and then some of the other ones that have come online since then?
Sure. We started with bar and chain oil under the DGP brand, and then our partnership with DeWalt really started contract-wise. It started in February of 2020, but due to COVID, it got pushed out. So our first launch was the DeWalt biodegradable bar and chain oil in mid-2022. And so we launched that on Amazon. We didn't have much retail fanfare, and we started at ground zero. No replacement of a product, nothing, no forecast. And 3 years, fast forward 3 years, we're now the number 1 selling bar oil in the category on Amazon. We're beating all the petroleum products. So we started with bar and chain oil, and now we've migrated with DeWalt to expand to 7 new products, 6 of which are wholly or majority soy-based.
Very impressive. Uses for those, lubricant type products, cleaning products, what all do we see them being used for?
Yeah, the majority are always going to be lubricants because we're focused in on tools and equipment, but we're also doing a lot of specialty products because our concept is we don't want to just be a lubricant company. We want to serve the operator. So the men and women that are using the equipment, what are they doing before they get to the job? What are they doing on their break? And what are they doing when they get home? So our concept is, yes, we want to focus in on tools and equipment, but what did they do in preparation? So we have a new leather conditioner. And if you think about it, most farmers, most tree care workers, loggers, they spend a lot of money on good boots, good belts, good suspenders. We want them to take care of that. So before they get to work, after they get to work, we've got a hand scrub, we've got a hand balm, we've got a bunch of other really nuanced products that a traditional lubricant company would never do. But again, our concept is focus on the equipment, but follow the operator from the time they wake up to the time they go to bed and deliver a great product.
Very interesting. Well, creating a great product is one thing, telling the world about it is yet another, and then distributing it to everybody that wants it is a third thing. And you guys have made tremendous progress in that area as well.
Yeah, it's been tough. It's been a roller coaster, but we've got good retailers that are coming on board. I'm really excited about our partnership with Do It Best Hardware. Do It Best has actually been the first retailer that we approached that fully embraced not only sustainability and high performance, but the whole mission of supporting American farmers. I can't say that about other retailers. So I'm really proud to announce that Do It Best Hardware, that is also merging with True Value, will carry both the DeWalt product line and the DGP product line. So by summer of next year, we should have the largest soy-based product line in retail that's ever been distributed and in existence. So we're really proud of that accomplishment.
That's amazing. If someone wants to learn more about your company, Dynamic Green Products, how can they do that?
Our tagline is one of our taglines is Change Your Oil. So go to changeyouroil.com. That'll tell you about the DGP products, and we're working on DeWaltLubricants.com. So if you're interested in following DeWalt, go to DeWaltLubricants.com. Just hit the subscribe button. That's all that's there today. But we've got a whole community newsletter, everything that's being built, and that should be launched later this year.
Great. My guest again today has been Scott Porter with Dynamic Green Products. Stay tuned. We'll be back to take a look at your markets after this.
Attention construction pros. Purple Wave Auction brings quality equipment to your fingertips. Join our bi-weekly online auctions featuring dozers, excavators, loaders, and more. We provide detailed listings, photos, and seller contact info. Inspect online or in person. With our no reserve policy, every item sells to the highest bidder. Visit purplewave.com today and see why informed builders choose Purple Wave. Transparent processes, real deals. Your next great purchase awaits. purplewave.com.
It's time now for today's market analysis, brought to you by the Louis Dreyfus Company. Excited to be building the newest state-of-the-art soybean crush facility in Upper Sandusky, Ohio. Call 574-566-2113 for information on soybean marketing to LDC.
Grain markets finished the Thursday session mostly in the green, but it was not what I would call exceptionally impressive or inspiring, all right? As a matter of fact, soybeans were trading negative through the midday and early afternoon hours before getting act together late. The market was abuzz yesterday because Argentina's export taxes returned to their pre-tax holiday levels, but here's the reason why. The Argentina grain export quota was reached. The cap was reached, $7 billion total. That seems like it was about 20 million metric tons of grain registered for export. Here's the problem. In the overnight part of the trading session, the market was bullish because most of what happens in the overnight comes down to headline trading bots and algorithms. And all of those things took the news that Argentina returned their export taxes to pre-tax holiday levels was bullish. But those trading systems don't understand that Argentina did fill its $7 billion cap, and there's a whole host of grain that is hitting the marketplace. And still, Argentine farmers were swamping the market with cash sales even right after the tax holiday was done. They continued to swamp the market. Merchandisers down there are telling us that they've never seen such active movement. Every Argentine farmer desired to participate in the tax holiday. The farmers actively sold soybeans due to the nearly 25% bump in prices amid the 0% tax. Crushers were active, locking down soy product exports at 0% tax. Meal and oil basis offers are significantly below those of Brazil and, of course, the U.S. Gulf. This was a big deal. So even though that tax holiday goes to zero, the damage has been done, in my opinion, in the marketplace. Now, the pressure is growing on the Trump administration to do a deal with China. Calls from ASA and the Sorghum Association have been made in the recent days. Yesterday, there were some headlines that came off of Capitol Hill that Trump was going to take tariff dollars and put them to the U.S. farmer until the tariffs actually pay off for the U.S. farmer. I don't know. We will see. It sounds like it's something happening more sooner than later, but that may only just kind of put a Band-Aid on a gaping flesh wound that has to come off at some later point in time. We'll see. I'm Ryan Martin.
Thanks, Ryan. Let's take a look at how your markets closed yesterday, brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance, online at seedconsultants.com. December corn closed up 1.5 pennies, and March corn closed up 1 1/4 cents. November soybeans closed up 3 1/4 cents, and January beans were up 2 3/4, while December Kansas City wheat closed up 5 1/2. December Chicago wheat was up 7 1/2 cents, and December Minneapolis wheat closed the day up 5 1/4. In the overnights, December corn is down 1/2 penny, November soybeans up 1 1/4 penny, and wheat for December up 1/2 cent. Thanks for joining us and have a great day. This is the Ohio AgNet.